And joining us to discuss the process and prospect of achieving peace in the Middle East is Bryan Leib, foreign policy analyst and the CEO of Henry Public Relations. Good to have you with us this morning, Bryan. We heard it laid out at yesterday's cabinet meeting. Trump's role has been instrumental here in the Gaza-Israel peace agreement right now, at least the current one. How do you see the approach his cabinet laid out, including relationships, trade, military strength, and energy policies, all playing into the deal today?
Stefania, good morning to you and to the NTD audience. It's a good morning. Any morning that we can wake up where peace is happening, not just in the Middle East, but anywhere in the world, I think is a very good morning. The hostages coming home after 2 years of this bloody conflict between Israel and Hamas that, of course, we all know Hamas started, really is just a tremendous win for everyone. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you're on, whether you're on the left or the right or in the center. Any peace deal that brings living hostages that have been living in dungeons for the last 700 days home, it's a really good peace deal. So I think everyone should be really excited about this. And I think the broader stroke on this is, and we'll see how it's implemented over the coming months and years, of course. But the fact that there potentially could be a kind of a new Middle East where Israel and their Arab neighbors are working together on trade, on military cooperation, intelligence cooperation, all these different things, really could be not just a new day in the Middle East, Stefania, but a new era, a new decade. So I think we're all excited to see what comes.
Certainly will be, and it would be, if it is achieved, historic. As Trump has mentioned, there's thousands of years of animosity that this could be addressing. Considering Qatar, Turkey, and some of the other nations who were taking part in these negotiations, they also have friendly relations or perhaps cooperative relations with Hamas. Is there any concern on your part about their role in staying aligned with the U.S.'s trajectory toward a full peace agreement?
You raise a very good point. I don't think that we can look the other way at the fact that Hamas has had strong relationships with Qatar and with Turkey and with some other smaller players as well for a long time now. So I think we just have to be eyes open on that. But at the same time, I think that these countries that I just mentioned, I think they're pragmatic. I think they understand what's happening, and they're reading the room, and this is all because of the man on your screen right now, because of President Donald J. Trump and bringing all of these countries together. He is really the ultimate peacemaker. I mean, this is a man who, of course, makes deals for a living before he became the president, and since becoming our 45th and now 47th president, has made a lot of great deals for America. But he's also made a lot of amazing peace deals and bringing wars to an end. And I really think that he just deserves so much credit. The team that's in the Middle East, and Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner and many others right now, there are so many people that work so hard to make this deal happen. And I just really, if I'm being honest, it doesn't feel real that we're 48 hours away from these living hostages being reunited with their families. And it really is special. And I think we as Americans have a lot to be proud of. We have a lot to be proud of our president for delivering peace once again. So it's a good day.
It certainly is. And you've just arrived back from Azerbaijan, which is also in the process of negotiating a peace deal brokered by Trump. Of course, the president did not receive the Nobel Peace Prize this time around, but he does have numerous other peace agreements, as you've alluded to, under his belt already. What do you make of his prospects for a Nobel Prize in the future?
I think everyone, whether they love or hate President Trump, understand that he should have received a Nobel Peace Prize for Abraham Accords many years ago. He probably should have received 5 other ones over the last couple of years for what he's done. And of course, the Nobel Peace Prize came out, and they did snub him again this year. So I don't think we should be shocked. But President Trump, he has always said, Stefania, that peace is the prize. And I think that that's something that we should really be focused on, is that the president isn't interested in whether or not he's going to get an award. He's interested in peace. He wants peace. As he has said, many times, and we've all seen through our lifetimes. I mean, the instability in the region is something that predates you and me by a couple decades. So it's nice that it's finally, in some regards, kind of coming to an end. And whether the Nobel Peace Prize Foundation finally wakes up and does the right thing, we'll see what happens. But I don't think President Trump needs it. I think he understands that peace is the real prize, and he is well on his way to achieving that.
And speaking to this point of the pragmatism that has got to where we are now, the U.S. detected a shift in which they said Hamas was viewing hostages as a liability rather than an asset, and that was a large part of what played into this current pivot. Yet the hostages were their main negotiating weapon for Hamas. Are they completely neutralized once they return them? Is that how you see it?
We'll see what happens. It's a very kind of interesting deal in the sense of the Israelis are getting back. I think it's about 20 Israeli living hostages, and in return, the Israelis are giving something north of 1,500 Hamas prisoners, some of really the worst of the worst. So I don't know if Hamas really is fully, kind of neutered at this point. There still are several battalions that are left in Gaza, and while the vast majority of their leadership has been eliminated over the last 2 years, there is still leadership in place with Hamas. So I think time will tell what happens after this. But I think everyone is just laser focused right now on getting these hostages home that have been living in the worst of worst conditions underground for the last 700 days. I am so excited that they're going to be coming home. I'm not so excited to see what kind of condition that they're going to be in. But the very fact that they are coming home is what we should all be very focused on right now. It has been a long 700 plus days. And finally, that part to this war is coming to an end. What happens after this, we'll see. And just a final note on that, Hamas is not a rational government. They're not interested in diplomacy. Any kind of organization that was interested in diplomacy never would have carried out October 7th in the firsthand. So we'll see how far this diplomatic angle takes Hamas. But routinely over their inception, they haven't really been too interested in diplomacy. So we'll see how this unfolds. But again, the focus is the hostages are coming home, thank God.
Common wisdom is you don't negotiate with terrorists, and yet this time something has changed. Hopefully it really does come through, and that would be historic to have those hostages back home. We'll be watching closely alongside you. Thank you so much, Bryan Leib.
Thanks for having me. Have a great day.